Okay, we're here. Hi, Dharma Talk Tuesday is happening. For some reason, my internet, I don't know what was happening. It was taking forever. I am so alive and excited and happy to be with you today. My makeup's a little runny right now. Sorry about that. I was just doing one of the three things that I'm going to be talking about today, so I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But we are live here on Dharma Talk Tuesday. Let's get some light in the house, so much better. And as you're hopping on, I would love for you to share where you are tuning in from. So we've got Carrie Stanley, who's tuning in from the Midwest. We have Sandy, so go ahead and say where you are tuning in from. I would also love for you to share what Dharma means to you, what being on purpose means to you, and what it looks and feels like for you. And it's different for everybody. We should never assume that it looks the same for everybody, because it really looks different for everyone, right? So as you're hopping on, you're saying hello, give me some hearts and likes as you're hopping on. Say where you're tuning in from. Carrie says, Dharma looks like magic and miracles. Of course it does. We've got Tony Lynn Davis in the house. So good to see you, Tony. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're having kind of a come to Jesus moment. We have to have them sometimes. We get to have them sometimes, especially if we're an entrepreneur and we're setting goals, or if you are I mostly am talking to entrepreneurs, but let's be honest, you can also be in corporate, or you can have a job and also be working towards goals. So we're finishing off the third quarter. We're going into the fourth quarter. And usually now is the time when people are thinking okay, am I on track with my third quarter goals? Am I on track with my year-long goals? I have one more quarter to rock it out. How's it going? Am I on track? Am I in alignment with that which I declared at the beginning of this year? Can you even believe that we have now passed the fall equinox of 2018? I feel like I was just doing a Facebook Live about 2018 New Year's resolutions. It's cray. So let's see here. We got Tiffany from Colorado. Dharma to me means a bigger purpose far beyond my own life. That's beautiful. A movement, something bigger than you. Hi, Tony. And Chrissy is here. All right. I'm going to just wave at some of you. Shamika, tingles all through my body, sparkles and fireworks. Oh, I am all about tingles and sparkles and fireworks. I can get down with that. And we got Maria. All right. And Alex Cote. What a great group in the house. Okay, so let's talk about the three places where you could be going sideways if you find yourself not on track. You could be in one of three places right now in your vision. Either you're on track and you're right there, you're pacing, you're on track with exactly where you wanted to be, where you're okay, these are the things I want to accomplish this year, and I'm so excited and happy and grateful. I'm on track, I'm doing them. And if that is you, I acknowledge you. That is fucking fantastic. And I really invite you to comment in this thread what's working. What is it about the way that you ran this year that worked for you? Let's celebrate that together. That's fantastic. You can be in another place, which is you're ahead of your goals. You actually did better this year than you expected. Again, amazing. That's awesome. And I want to celebrate you and acknowledge you. And I would love for you to share what's working in this thread. So, I'm here to learn. We're all here to learn. So what's working for you? What are some of the things that are working for you? And then you can be in the third place, which is behind, off track, going kind of sideways from where you declared you would be. And that's okay. It's just where you are. It's just feedback. It's just information. It's not like you are your results. So there's no shame in that. And this Facebook Live today is really for you. It's really for you. And my intention with this Facebook Live, with this Dharma Talk Tuesday today, is to give you a couple things and to simplify the process of getting yourself back on track and maybe even ahead. And what I've discovered and what I've learned is that if you're off track, if you're kind of below the goals that you thought you would be at and you expected to be at, then there are really three main reasons why. So we're going to talk about that today. We got Maria saying leadership. Yes. Chrissy, Dharma is my true calling. Yes, it is. Shamika says, home in Albany, New York. Why is my thing not scrolling? Yes, so Tony says, that's right, celebrate being ahead. Shamika says, the year is ending better than it began. That is so awesome. Quick shout out, by the way, to Highburst. I'm wearing a Highburst shirt. I was just working out, and I was rocking out my Highburst. So if you haven't tried Highburst yet, go to highburst.com, and they've got a really good deal for you, especially if you're a new customer. I feel like I can't function without Highburst. It's the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, this is such an off-track thing, but I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there, you guys. The first thing I do in the morning is I make two things. I wake up and I make a coffee with a scoop and a half of unflavored Vital Proteins collagen powder and a little bit of stevia or monk fruit. It's like no calorie, healthy, organic sweetener, and a little bit of fresh, organic ground vanilla powder, which is so awesome and really good for you, actually. And whipping cream and like a little bit and MCT oil, and I blend it up and it gets really frothy. And the reason I use whipping cream is because it's low glycemic, and I'm doing keto right now, ketosis, so no sugars for me, no carbs. And then the other thing I make is Highburst, and I start my day with strawberry lemonade Highburst because well, first of all, it injects B vitamins into me. So you know how in the morning, sometimes when you wake up and you're like kind of groggy, it elevates your mood right away because you're ingesting B vitamins, which help with your mood. It also gives me the right balance of electrolytes. And so another reason why when you wake up you feel groggy is because you don't have the right electrolyte balance. You're dehydrated. And water alone doesn't hydrate you. You have to have the right electrolyte balance for your system, because we're not the pH of water, we're the pH of a certain electrolyte balance. And so Highburst gives that to you. Super high quality ingredients. Go order it now. I'll totally forgive you if you leave this broadcast. Go order Highburst and come back. I'll give you a minute. Maybe we'll have a dance party together while we wait. Just kidding. Highburst.com. They have beetberry and strawberry lemonade, and both are amazing. I do beetberry in the afternoon because it's not caffeinated, and the strawberry one is caffeinated. So different people like different things. All right, so I got on that tangent because I was wearing a Highburst shirt. Tony's giving me the hearts and likes for my tangent. I'm glad someone's enjoying it. All right, so let's get back to our 3 ways that you can get back on track easily, literally as in like this week. If you find yourself in that 3rd place where you're off track from your goals. And by the way, if you know anyone who could appreciate this topic, who could benefit from this conversation, I request that you send them this Facebook Live, or you share this Facebook Live on your Facebook wall, or you can even tag their name in this thread. And so this will really support them. So let's get to it. The first way that you can get yourself back on track, one of the reasons why you probably aren't hitting your goals, if you're not hitting your goals, is that your energy is not in alignment. And I'm going to go really specific with this because that could mean a million different things. Here's what that means. So if you are taking action, let's say you are an entrepreneur and a lot of what you do is sales. If you are getting on the phone, if you're sending out emails, if you are going to events, if you're doing all the things that's required of you to market yourself, get yourself out there, and you're in sales generating activity, and you still find things not working, the reason I usually see why is because there's actually a part of your belief system, a part of your energy, a part of your, I call it the energy set point. It's your energy set point is actually off track from your action. So it's like, it's in hearts and likes, if you can relate to this. I know I can. It's like, no matter what you do, it's not generating results. And the reason why it's not generating results is because your belief system is actually completely not in alignment with what's actually happening. And I'll give you a specific example of that. So if you're taking action, you're following the coaching that you're being given by a coach, or you are, even if you're like, if it's like a wellness goal, like a physical wellness goal, like you're doing like a weight loss program, or it could be any goal, and you're doing it, but you're still not seeing results. Usually it's because there's a belief in you somewhere that, and there's a few different ways that this could go. You're not worthy of experiencing the glory and victory of your results. You are afraid of actually succeeding. And so there's a part of you on an energetic level that's undermining your success. Another way that can go, again, these are energy set point. There's a part of you that feels guilt or shame about receiving prosperity, abundance, opportunity. There's a part of you that feels afraid to be different or better than people around you, like that tall poppy syndrome of sticking your neck out and receiving judgment or criticism from other people if you were to actually show up and win. Okay, and so what happens is you'll go into those sales, those revenue generating scenarios, and like people can actually feel if your energy is off. And so it's like you'll be in, like one of the things I teach my clients is a sales call called Cultivate. It's an enrollment conversation. It's a structured enrollment conversation. So one of the ways that shows up is you go into an enrollment conversation, into the Cultivate conversation, and people can sense in your energy that you don't actually want them to buy. Like you're actually making an offer, you're doing it all right, you're following the script, like all of these things. But like there's something in your energy that's like, don't buy. I don't want you to get this. I actually don't want you to say yes. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's what happens if your energy set point is off and if you're energetically out of alignment with what you're doing. And so the way that you shift yourself into alignment, if that's what's happening for you, is you actually have to get honest with yourself. Like I was teaching my Money Manifestation Secrets course today, and we had a conversation about honesty. So one of the things I've found that really stops people from manifesting is what I call the naysayers. It's the crabs in the bucket that are pulling you down, that don't want you to win. They're planting the seeds of doubt in you. They're telling you things like, who are you to be a whatever you want to be? Who are you to, like, you can't win. Like, look at, people actually say that to you. And if it's not people, then you're the naysayer. And like, you're going to be saying that to yourself. I'm just going to stop for a second there and recognize, like, maybe you are your own naysayer. Think about that for a second. Are you the naysayer in your life? Okay. So if you have the naysayers in your life, what I was telling the people and my students in the course was the first step is honesty. You need to get honest with yourself about the naysayers. Who are they and how are you going to handle them? And I suggested the first step is to get clear that they're just doing the best they can with what they have. Maybe, I mean, they're coming from a well-meaning place. Your ego, the naysayer part of you, let's say, for example, is coming from a well-meaning place, right? And so then I took them through the step-by-step process of shifting their energy around the naysayers, around the doubt, around the self-talk that was causing them to be held back, to procrastinate, to sabotage their enrollment calls, to sabotage their marketing and things like that. And so the first step is honesty and looking around in your life and asking yourself, okay, like, do I feel, and this actually is going to segue me right into step 2, because I can't talk about one without the other. Step 2 is your relationship with your body. Sometimes the indicator for step 1 is the way your body is feeling. So you can actually tell more so if your energy is off from, rather than thinking about it, identifying in your body wisdom how your body is registering to a certain scenario. For example, when you think about talking to a certain person, do you have to like emotionally and mentally prepare yourself? Do you feel a tightness in your heart or in your belly? Do you feel a sense of burden on your shoulders when you think about a certain situation? Like those of us that have clients, like, let's be real, there are certain clients that are really challenging. And what is your relational experience and your body wisdom experience around that client? We also have clients that are heart opening. I'm just being honest and real with you guys, you know what I mean? And so you want to check in with your body, and this brings us into step 2. So the first one was you check your energy set point. If you find it difficult some people have amazing self-awareness and they're like, oh yeah, my energy is off when I'm in an enrollment call, or oh yeah, my energy is off when I'm writing this email, or oh yeah, my energy is off when I'm having these conversations with people. And they're just really self-aware and they get it. If you find it challenging to have that kind of self-awareness, then you want to go into step 2. And step 2, the second place that that you want to look at if your vision is off is actually getting into your physical body. The way that you can start to be in relationship with your physical body is by actually initiating a change of physical state. So that's what I just came from. I was just, actually I tried out Orange Theory for the first time ever this afternoon. Hearts and likes if you've ever done Orange Theory before. To be honest, I was quite nervous about going because it sounded really intense. And it was awesome. It was really challenging and really fun. And I'm gonna actually go back tomorrow at 6 a.m. So that's happening. And so the second thing you wanna look at is, are you changing your physical state? I love how Tony Robbins talks about this. It's one of he actually has his coaches change their physical state in between every coaching call by bouncing on a trampoline for a few minutes. So one of the top ways that I recommend changing your physical state is through yoga. And the reason is because the art and science of yoga is such that it actually moves energy and breath through your meridians and through your chakra system in a way that clears out the things that are out of alignment. It's like you don't actually need to think about it. You don't need to analyze it. It just happens when you practice, especially if you're doing a practice that's really specific to a certain chakra. If you're doing a confidence practice, which you target your solar plexus. If you're doing a practice around safety and security, which is your root chakra. If you're doing a practice around the experience and opening yourself up to the energy of giving and receiving, which is your heart chakra. So I love yoga for that reason, because it actually activates very specific parts of your life that if you know that they're out of alignment, then you can target them. If you don't know which piece is out of alignment in a certain situation that you're blocked in, then that's okay. You just do a practice that covers everything. Like that's, I have a course called The Eightfold Path to Discovering Your Dharma. And the very first thing we do is a 45-minute yoga practice that covers every single chakra. I also have a 7-day chakra opening yoga challenge that covers every single chakra over the course of the 7 days. If you want either of those things, just send me a private message and I'm happy to share that with you. Or go to a yoga class. One of the reasons why I went to Orange Theory today is because sometimes what's needed is for you to completely throw yourself into an unknown, uncomfortable situation where you have no control, no expectations. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to get outside your box. And so, like, for me, yoga is very in my box, even a very challenging practice. I've been practicing for over 13 years. Like, it doesn't, I'm not being arrogant about it. It's just like, I know what to expect at this point. But going to a class where, I challenge you, every single one of you, change your physical state by going somewhere, going on a hike, going to a class, going to Orange Theory, or going to, if you live in San Diego, go to Elevate. That's another workout that I really like. If you actually change your physical state in a way that feels very uncomfortable for you, sign up for a triathlon or a half marathon, or if yoga is uncomfortable for you, definitely go do that. And what you'll find, everybody, is when you get to the other side of doing that class or doing that hike, after having changed your physical state, rock climbing as an example, dancing, after having gotten to the other side of it, you'll feel accomplished. Like, oh my gosh, if I just can go through a dance class, like a belly dancing class, if I can go through a rock climbing class, if I can go on a hike that I didn't know I could go on, and I could do it successfully, where else in my life can I do something successfully that I thought I couldn't do, that I was very uncomfortable doing? So changing your physical state, but not just any particular way. My recommendation and preference for changing your physical state is number 1, through yoga, and number 2, through doing it in a way that's very uncomfortable. And think about that. And I challenge every single one of you to do that this week, either yoga or going to a class or an experience that challenges you, and comment on this thread and let us know what it was. I would love ideas, and I would love to hear from you what you actually did. So the reason why that's powerful is because if you hang out long enough in your head and you're circulating and circulating and circulating and circulating and circulating and going in circles over and over, going in circles over and over, even just looking at that energy, you're like, whoa, you will stay there and you will generate the same solutions that got you into the problem you find yourself in the first place. So when you change your state, you're changing the energy vibration, which goes back to step number 1, that is going to lead you to a different solution. And I promise you, this is so important. Write this down if you have somewhere to write this down near you right now, or put this in your phone. There is a solution for every problem. This is a dual universe. This is a universe of duality. So you wouldn't be in front of a challenge or a situation if there wasn't a partner solution right along with it. And so, like, when people say things like, this is impossible, I don't see a way out of this, I promise you, if there's a problem or a challenge in front of you, there is a solution, there is a way out of it. And then it's up to you to find that way. And this first step I gave you was to assess your energy, when I gave you the steps for that. And then the second step is to change your physical state in an uncomfortable way. Okay, so the third thing you want to look at is what I call avenues of abundance. And you've heard me talk about it. It's being a blessing to at least 5 people a day. So I have a client who is very talented at what she does. She is extraordinary at what she does. And she is majorly blocked around being a blessing to at least 5 people a day. And it's not because she is being stingy or selfish, or it's not about that. It's actually because she is nervous and afraid to stick her neck out and put herself out there, which is completely understandable. I totally get it. But the challenge when you are in that mindset of being afraid to stick your neck out and risk is that you're also not going to set yourself up to receive. And so you need to be putting yourself out there, sticking your neck out at least 5 times a day. Excuse me. Another way to look at this is make at least 5 offers a day. Be connected. If you have an email list, be connected with your email list as much as you possibly can, because every single time, do Facebook Lives, like every single time you create a connection like this, you are building a bridge. You're building a relationship. And how can people possibly be a yes to you if you're not extending your hand for them to take it? So the third thing you want to look at if you're not hitting your vision, or if you're off track from your goal, is how many times a day, how many times a week are you being a blessing to people? How many times are you sticking your hand out saying, follow me, come with me, and being bold and willing and courageous in being a leader to somebody or to those people? I'm reading a really fabulous, or I just finished actually, a really fabulous book called The Go-Giver. So if you've been following my Instagram stories or Facebook stories, you've seen a couple little notes of it. I already just finished it. I was borrowing it from a friend. I already gave it back, but I'm actually going to buy it and get another copy so I can go back and read it again. There are 5 laws of stratospheric success, and one of them is, and I've been saying this since forever, the more people that you're making an impact for, the more income, the more money you get to make. So, like, be generous with the way that you give of your love, of your heart, of your content, of your ideas, of your wisdom. Be generous in the way that you pick up the phone and make a phone call to somebody. Not with the intention of like taking something from them or like, hey, pay me. Like, that's obviously not gonna work. But from the place of knowing that your voice matters, that your dharma matters, it's unique, it's different from anyone else's, and there's somebody waiting for you to extend your hand for them to grab it and walk the path with you. Okay, so I hope that helps. So to recap, the first thing is check your energy, make sure it's in alignment with what you're doing. If your belief systems are challenging you, if your energy set point is not in alignment with your vision, you need to address that. And I talked about that at the beginning. The second thing is to change your physical state, either through yoga or through something that is out of your comfort zone and really challenging. I was talking to my friend Shanda, who I was working out with, and it was so funny because there was one part when we're on the treadmills and they tell you to go all out, like give it your all, leave it out on the field. And I'm like running, and actually I'm not pushing myself as much as I know I can, because there's like a little voice and a little fear in my head. Like, I'm afraid I'm going to fall off the treadmill. Like, it's just this weird voice or fear. Do you know what I mean? And so I turned to her and I was like, oh, I feel afraid I'm going to fall off the treadmill. And then then we were talking about, as we're running, as we kind of slowed down, because you go back and forth in your orange zone and your blue zone and all of that. So, so she's like, this is such a great metaphor for running a business or for your life, And I was like, yeah, like where else in my life Or in my business, am I afraid of falling off the treadmill? And we start laughing. She's like, yeah, exactly. You know, so you got to ask yourself, like, where else in your life are you afraid of falling off the treadmill? Or maybe for you, it's not about being afraid of falling off the treadmill, like my crazy fear. Maybe it's something else that shows up for you. And that's the kind of thing that shows up in the space when you're changing your physical state. How you do one thing is how you do everything. What happens on the mat is the same as what happens off the mat, so to speak. Okay, so that's the second thing. And then the third thing is checking in on your avenues of abundance, as I call them. Are you creating avenues of abundance? Are you working on revenue generating activity? Are you being a blessing to at least 5 people a day, 5 people a week, and sticking your neck out, sticking your hand out, saying, hey, come with me? And that's it. That sums it up for this week's Dharma Talk Tuesday. I look forward to seeing your comments. If you think there's somebody in your life this could really benefit, please do share this video or tag them below. It's so great to see you all. As always, let me just go back through the comments. My phone is on the verge of dying right now. So I want to make sure. Okay, so we've got Tracy, Naomi, AJ, Rosanna, Judah, Stephanie, Nikki, Amanda, Kim, Andrea, Jennifer, thank you all so much for being. Nancy, hi Nancy. Stephanie says, love this, so true. Actually shook myself up with the Pilates class on Sunday. I'm back on track, awesome. Amanda, Carrie says, one of my favorite books of all time. And Lisa, Nikki says, absolutely. Yes, it's such a good book. Giselle, hi. Jasmine, hello. Hi Karen, you're welcome. Love you, Lisa. Annie, thank you for joining us today. All right, team, that's it for today. Hi, Kelly. Oh my gosh, send me a text. I need to talk to you, Kelly. We are still going back and forth, and we get to connect soon. I have time this week. I'd love to talk to you. So I hope you have an incredible rest of your week. I'm actually doing Orange Theory again at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So yeah, send me some Dharma vibes for that one. This is a really challenging class, but it truly works. I'm going to have a powerful day tomorrow because of it. So I'm sending you blessings for a wonderful evening, and I will see you next week at 6 o'clock Pacific for Dharma Talk Tuesday. Bye!